All right. So, okay, this is the right one. Cool. All right. So today we're going to be talking about strategies for re-engagement, as you heard from everybody here, basically. The costs of user acquisition are getting higher and higher, and re-engaging existing users is something that you always want to do, and you want to make it as effective as possible. So we have here the representatives of the ecosystem that will give you the best perspective of how to do it properly. So I think we have all of the relevant people. So I will just introduce them shortly, and then you can say a few words about yourself. So we have Daria from Mytona, Nir from Playtika, and Ryan from Fluent, Ophir from Personally, and Kate from Remerge. All right, so let's start. Daria, let's go. Just a few words. Working? Okay. Try now?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Is it working?
Yes.
Yes. Hi everyone, my name is Daria. I'm business development manager from Mytona, a self-developer and publisher. We're doing casual games. Our flagship titles, Seeker's Notes and Cooking Diary. These titles have been among the market in the top 3 in the genre for more than 10 and 7 years. Thanks to our loyal and engaged and re-engaged users, and we're so happy to talk about it today.
Hi everyone, my name is Nir. Great to see some familiar faces, super excited to be here. I'm the marketing team lead for Caesar Slots and House of Fun in Playtika. I'm in the industry for about 10 years and very excited to be here.
Hi, I'm Ryan Schulke, Chief Strategy Officer of Fluent. We launched in 2010. We're a provider of customer acquisition across many verticals, user acquisition and gaming being our largest, through a suite of our owned and operated media properties, as well as monetization solutions for publishers and, importantly, retailers. And CRM has been a key channel for us through multiple channels, such as email and SMS, to help engagement and increasing our client ROAS for the gaming vertical.
Hi guys, my name is Ophir, founder and head of R&D in Personally. We are a DSP for user acquisition and retargeting, and happy to be in this yearly reunion, as always.
Hi, my name is Kate. I'm Senior Sales Director EMEA at Remerge. I've been working for Remerge more than 5 years already and have around 10 years of experience in tech industry. And Remerge is a DSP focused on app retargeting. We work with gaming, non-gaming companies and help them to re-engage users and drive measurable growth. And always happy to come to Tel Aviv.
All right, so let's dive in. All right, let's talk about what's going on right now in the re-engagement ecosystem. Let's start with what are right now, as you see everyone from their own perspective, what are the top, let's say, 2 to 3 trends or strategies that you think are right now dominating the ecosystem? All right, let's start with here. Let's go.
So I think the main topic right now is iOS. As you all know, iOS 14 back in the days changed the way that we do retargeting. And basically what it creates is basically decrease of retargeting budget allocation, I would say, an increase in Android and basically increasing the prices and the competition on Android. So I think iOS is growing pretty quickly now, especially with the probabilistic options. Also the social, and there is a lot of DSP, mostly DSP in retargeting, but there is a lot of growth now in social and in search channels that also quite late, but adopted the probabilistic metric.
All right, so since we have a representative of the DSP, so let's see up here, how do you see this from your perspective?
Yeah, so I think from our side, there are like top 3 things that we see. So as Nir said, probabilistic for iOS is taking over, like everyone is using that. All the major studios, they're scaling it right now. So that's the first thing. I would say that we are also seeing that the attribution, the inactivity windows are getting shorter than what they used to be. Especially in a very high, where you have a lot of competition. So you're a bit afraid that, okay, someone else will take my whale, so I will keep chasing him after 1 day, after 2 days. And like 2 years ago, it was like the standard was 14. then it was 7, and now we're talking about 2, 3 days maybe. So that's the second thing that we see. Another thing we see that's retargeting is becoming like the new norm right now. If like 2 years ago we were discussing with gaming studios and they were like, I don't know how to run retargeting, I don't know how to measure it, it's super complex. Now everyone is doing retargeting, whether they are a huge studio or small studio, they understand the value of retaining the user because user acquisition costs are extremely high these days.
Okay, cool. Kate, let's hear your take on this.
Yeah, I definitely agree that probabilistic, it's a hot topic these days, and it's already became market standard, using like both deterministic and probabilistic approach to make sure that you can achieve all your users. And in addition, ID-less traffic is a little bit cheaper, so it also helps you to optimize cost per returning user. That's why definitely we recommend to combine deterministic, probabilistic to make sure that you can achieve all your high-value users. And talking about inactivity, of course, it's the main questions, especially when we start working with companies without experience in retargeting. They always ask, okay, who should we target? Can you give us any recommendations, best practices? But in reality, there is no one-size-fits-all strategies. So each app has different user drop curve. So you need to align your user organic behavior to understand when it's the best time to re-engage users. But still data show that around 50% of users churn by day 4. So sometimes waiting for day 7 might be already too late. So you can lose users to your competitors. And we know that competition is very high these days, especially when we talk about social casino, because I see many social casino representative in this audience. So when LTV is higher, competition is higher, so you need to make sure that you keep your users engaged, especially when you already spent money on user acquisition. So definitely retargeting might be a good complementary strategy to make sure that you can get additional revenue from your existing users.
Ryan, let's hear from you a little bit. I think your approach is a bit different on that.
Yeah, so as a publisher of our own owned and operated media, predominantly rewarded properties, web and app, we collect email, SMS permissions to remarket to the customer. So that first-party data asset in connection with the second-party data, which gaming offers really the richest signal repository of real-time data of what a user is actually doing within the gaming app, gives us that opportunity to engage them in channels where they may not be engaged by the actual developer themselves. So whether that be email, text, Viber, which we just saw, or WhatsApp, being able to use that first-party data asset to connect across channels, and those can be paid channels as well, social media, programmatically, and going out and just reminding that audience that we're seeing that you're completing steps towards the game. Maybe we offered you some sort of incentive. So connecting that first and second-party data asset has been a real differentiator for us.
All right, Daria, you want to sum it up for us from a developer perspective? How do you combine all these channels?
Yes, I just want to summarize that for us it's also a really competitive market, and we try to work with our own user base, and we have a really strong community, and that's why we're trying to do something that will look organic for them, and we use our own social platforms. For us, the major communities on the Facebook, and we try to do post boosts about our major updates, main events, and it looks organic for them, and they try to collaborate with us better, and we do maybe some challenges and try to do some email marketing with them. We're collecting emails, and yeah, it can also help us, and do rewarded deep links, which also help us, especially with some creatives with rewards, because users sometimes they dropped off because they have really some challenges and they cannot pass the level, and it really helps us to engage them and get them back to our games.
All right, so that's super interesting. So I think we saw a lot of the guys here talking about measurement from all different perspectives, incrementality versus attribution. We had an interesting talk from more about that before. So let's dive into that a little bit. Let's talk about measurement, okay? Because I think for engagement, this is always an issue that is relevant for everyone. How do we measure better, correctly? How do we attribute correctly? All right, so let's start. Kate, let's start with your take on that.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, as you mentioned already, incrementality, I think still the hottest topic. Many companies curious to have these insights to understand if retargeting brings additional value because cannibalization of organic is still a big concern for many companies. That's why they still hesitating if they should start doing retargeting. From our perspective, I would say that incrementality is not replacement of attribution. It's more like additional tool that you can use in order to get insights about your audience. That's why we always recommend before started measuring incrementality, just think about what do I want to learn and how I will be implementing those insights and how to turn these insights into actionable decisions. We recommend to look into incrementality to get the insight about your audience, to understand, okay, which segment performs better and bring you additional incremental revenue so you can allocate your budget according to these learnings. But another challenge with incrementality that it's very hard to interpret the results. So before measuring incrementality, just make sure that you have enough resources, analytics team, just to make sure that you can learn this data and you can leverage all these insights.
All right, so you said resources, you said Playtika. So, all right, how do you tackle this on your end, Nir?
So I think that the biggest challenge, probably for DSP, but also for advertisers, is how do we measure retargeting? What is a retargeting user? What is the attribution window? How do you define a churn user? There is so many different aspects that each company is doing a little bit different, and I think that would be that is pretty much the key problem that the DSPs are facing with, because each company is a little bit different in that term. Internally, I totally agree with Kate. Incremental testing, do as much as you can, basically, to really understand if there is organic theft or it's actually good users for you.
Ophir, want to sum it up for us from your perspective?
Yeah, so our point of view is a little bit different. We force clients to do incrementality testing. For us, if it's not incremental, then why you need us? You don't need us. So that's something we really push. Resources or not, we can cover that. So that's one thing. The second challenge, I would say, is, again, the measurement and to understand where should I attribute this revenue. Is it for user acquisition? When it becomes the revenue of the retargeting source? When does the responsibility of the CRM ends? And when should we give it to the retargeting? So it's still a challenge because there is no one standard and nothing fits all. Different verticals act different ways. The churn curve looks different. So that's the main challenge, and where we find ourselves educating and trying to give benchmarks that are relevant for this specific vertical.
All right. So that's very interesting takes on this from all perspectives. So obviously everybody's talking about AI and everybody's talking about how to utilize them better. So we will talk about this in a bit when we're going to be talking about creatives. Before that, Ophir, you had an interesting take on how you utilize that on your end.
Yeah. So I would like to share like 2 short examples about how we utilize AI for retargeting. So for retargeting, we have different models than the UA ones. It's completely different because the ratio between positives and negatives is different, because you know who you're looking for in the bid stream. So 2 things that are pretty much unique for us. We build for every user, we build a vector that consists everything about his gameplay. It can be like the things you think it should be there, like how much he purchased, when was the last purchase, and so on, but also his pace of playing the game, how many levels he achieved, when was the last level he cleared, and so on. And then we create a representation of the user, and then we can start to measure distance between this user and the ultimate user. We feed it into neural network, which gives us the prediction of this user become recurring payer, and that's how we use it. The second thing that we started to see going on, that when a game has some events, so we see an amazing performance, but then it decays when the event is over. So we feed the model on the event time. We make sure that our partner let us know, okay, there is an event going on. And we tag those days as event days. So to make sure that the model will still be calibrated and understand that, okay, this is off season now, you should pay less. So this is like the two main challenges in retargeting in AI or ML, and that's how we approach them.
Yeah, I think that's very interesting, and I think that kind of brings us into our next topic, which is creatives. Okay, so I think everybody can relate to this. The way you approach the user, the offer, the context, with the IP or brand, if you have such, within the re-engagement, this. And obviously the ad unit itself will determine how responsive they are. So I would like to hear kind of from everyone your take on creative strategy, on how you see this, how do you tailor fit basically the creatives for each re-engagement campaign. So let's start, Daria, let's start with you.
As I mentioned before, sorry. As I mentioned before, yes, for us, we right now think that a really killer feature to use special deep links with rewards, because it helps us, especially for our soft launch projects, because it can help you to lower CPI, decrease the churn rate, and help us to bring more players for the soft launch project. For our core project, which, as I mentioned, for 10 and 7 years already on the market, we're still trying to keep our brand identity, so we cannot change it oftenly. Of course, we think that 90% of a retargeting user can get back to our games according to seasonally updates. So usually it's one per quarter, like major Halloween, Christmas, and something like this. But we still keep our brand identity to this one, and trying to change the whole store regarding the teasers, our SO, and so on. So I think, yes, for us, standalone creative, still the best one is video one, but sometimes when we can use playable and video, it works better. So yes, I think for us it's something the best approach.
For sure. So let's continue with Nir from the advertiser perspective. How do you utilize the creatives best?
So in retargeting and in UA, obviously, there is a lot of different types of creatives, formats and stuff like that. And we talked about incremental testing before. I think that's also the key here, because if you do the right testing, you might find that specific ad format or specific sizes don't have really any incremental lift. So you might want to consider changing a little bit the portfolio, I would say, of the creatives to try to avoid that and try to avoid like organic theft or something along the line.
All right, Ryan, tell us a little bit about, I think you do it a bit differently in terms of the creative strategy.
Yeah, so we come at this a bit differently. Again, as a rewarded publisher, one of the biggest challenges is, we don't want to just be bringing in individuals to that just want to get paid for signing up for offers or playing games. We want to engage shoppers, right? So we're trying to think about concept design. How do we go out and market to, market to her, the grocery shopper, the head of household shopper who is likely to, enjoy a game, come out and actually start paying in that game. So for our O&O business, that became the challenge is how do you get away from the tactics that just bring in people that are maybe trolling the internet, just looking for ways to make some cheap bucks and bring in that actual shopping audience. And then that really applied over to the commerce media sector, where we're actually serving an ad right after the transaction moment on sites like Fanatics.com, Bath & Body Works, the NFL shop. We have very limited inventory here, and trying to prescribe a treatment for an individual game became very challenging. So we actually came up with a broader concept to get the user to engage with a more generic ad where we could display multiple games and give the user more optionality. So these are just some of the ways that we're approaching things a bit differently to introduce our gaming clients into very premium inventory that could be $500 to $1,000 CPMs to the retailer, but performs extremely well and is extremely high quality.
Okay. Ophir, give us a little bit kind of summary from your end.
Yeah, so just to reiterate what Nir said about non-incremental ad units, I will just try to maybe more to clarify. For retargeting, our best practice is full screen videos or playables. Banners or the new trick of video in banner, just don't. It's not incremental. it will look great because it's your organic returners and they're amazing. They will pay anyway. You don't need to pay a DSP to do that. Avoid that. So that's my take on that. And besides that, the trends we see in the creatives, we see some sophisticated gaming advertisers that try to mimic e-commerce creatives. So the creatives can be with the power of AI and generating a lot of iterations. It can be dynamic creative. So we can show users their next level or the next arena or the next whatever in the game to keep them coming for more content. So that's a trend that we see.
Kate, do you want to add something?
I want to say maybe some obvious things for many companies, but still I see that some advertisers do this mistake that using the same creatives for user acquisition and retargeting, but it's wrong. So you should use definitely like different CTA, different call to action instead of like install, return to the game, claim your bonus, etc. I know it's like basic stuff, but still we see these mistakes. And talking about creatives in a programmatic environment, just to add what Afir mentioned about different formats, I would say that having diverse creative formats impacts scale. So the more different formats you have, the more inventory you can access, meaning that the more opportunities you have to find the right users that you would like to return to the game, especially, again, when it comes to high valuable users. That's why it's must to have like all possible formats, video, native, banners, etc., etc. So the more the better. And at Remerge, of course, we use AI algorithm that test, learn creatives, and allocate the budget towards best performing creators. And maybe just add one more thing about deep links, as Daria mentioned already, that deep links is essential to create a seamless user experience. So you redirect the user back to the app, not to the app store, and we see that it affects the conversion rate. Just like one of the example that for us, we see that re-engagement rate improves by 250% for the developer who implemented deep links for iOS campaign. So we definitely, like for us, deep links is a must to have better user journey and improve their experience.
Okay, so we have 5 minutes left, and I actually wanted to leave you guys with actual data and interesting actual real-life examples. So we prepared a few case studies in which we can actually kind of give examples that I think will be interesting. All right, so let's start with Nir.
Okay, so a case study for Playtika is that we launched a new feature recently for Caesar slots called the Toga Rewards Club. It's basically a real-life reward program where the paying users, we try to push on those, can win Toga tokens and redeem them for actual life rewards like Starbucks, Subway, etc. When we launched this new feature, we launched also a very wide marketing campaign, including UA and obviously retargeting. I'll talk specifically about retargeting, which we pretty much almost tripled the budgets months over months, and we saw less than 10% erosion, which is pretty significant for such a big scale. I think that the key to success here was a very good communication and working together with the studio, with the creative team, creating tailor-made treatments with deep links, and making sure the entire ecosystem supports it. And obviously, retargeting was the main focus here because this is a new feature in the game, something super excited for our existing players or our previous players. And I think that's one of the reasons that it was such a successful campaign.
Nice, very nice. Ophir, you had an interesting case study to share with us.
So I would like to speak about a case study we did with a Korean company named Mobirix. They are the biggest developer for bricks games in the App Store. So millions of DAUs worldwide. Their challenge with retargeting is the fact that they are not IAP based. Everything is IAA. So you have to segment the user and sift only the ones that can actually generate value. And the unit economics doesn't always work because the inventory is expensive and you need to make sure that those users will stick. So what we did there was to look at the last sessions before the inactivity ends and take the top 5% of users in terms of like how many ads they watch per session, targeting those users and adding another layer of sifting the ones that have the highest market price. As a DSP, where when we bid, we are getting exposed to the lost price, to the price that we lost to. So we can actually understand if a user is valuable to the market or how the market is evaluating the users. So combining those things, we were able to hit the KPIs and even 4x it for a while after like 2 weeks of running the campaigns. And for IAA, it's super rare to see those numbers.
Super impressive. Ryan, you had an example you want to share?
Yeah, when we began really focusing on CRM and what we really focused on most was prompting a user at certain levels of engagement as they were playing the game. And anybody that had opted into either our email or SMS sequencing and were receiving those prompts, we saw a lift from 15 to 20% on client ROAS, which was significant, and that has held throughout the journey. So that's been a real lift for us, and it helps us really get our clients' pricing and budgets up, of course. So that's really been a big boon for us.
And last but not least, yes, you are the last one actually to summarize this, because I think it will be interesting for everybody to hear.
I'll try to be quickly. I just want to share with you our case as a developer, because this year we have been celebrating our 10th anniversary of Seeker's Notes. It's quite a long period. Yeah, thank you. Yes, and as I mentioned before, we have a really huge loyal base, and we decided that it's not just a marketing job to bring back our players. We need to do something big and special from the production side, from our SO team, creative producers, and we created a grand event which lasts for 3 months. It was like one big connected event with 3 different updates, and we have one long narrative and special quest and an interesting occasion for our players, so they can collect. It was actually simple model: play, get reward points, collect them, exchange them for the opportunity to win some special lottery ticket, and after you will have a special raffle, and you can get some valuable prizes inside of the game. And actually, not just because of the inside game activities, we also have a huge marketing job. We created a series of YouTube videos about our game, how it was transformed during these 10 years, and have a series of interviews with our loyal players, and also have some community contests. And as I mentioned before, we really believe in community retargeting. We do boost posts about it. And long story short, we had really good results without any additional budgets. We don't have additional budget for this. It was our own resources, and we saw that retargeting campaigns had a 12% uplift, and also we got our re-engagement base of users grew up by 15%. And last but not least, we saw that effect lasts for 3 months in a row, and it helped us to increase our retention rate by 15% as well. So it's really good results for the game, which are for 10 years on the market, and I believe it will be more than 15 years, and still have such a huge fan base. And I think it's really good to do something good for your community.
So I think it's a really good example to sum everything up. I want to thank you. Thank everybody. An amazing job. And that's it. Yeah, thank you very much, guys.